Here is scar number, God knows how many. Um, so nothing much to report on other than just saying what's up, getting healed, getting everything put back together, figuring this all out like we all are. Wait to see if somebody jumps on. We got a few weeks off, so be able to organize some things, roll some new things out, work on the business a little bit more. So that'll be kind of exciting. Give me something to do other than just sit around and watch X Files, which I have been doing, and I plan on doing more of here shortly. Is turning on more X Files and going back through. Almost made it through season 1. It's a fantastic show. So, all right. Let me see. I can pull this up. Okay, we're gonna watch this.
Two heroes that went to work last night and didn't make it home. Two heroes that paid the ultimate price for our society. And these two heroes, Officer Cameron Girvin and Officer Christopher Reese. Officer Girvin has been with the VBPD since 2020. Officer Reese has been with us since 2022. And I was just informed by the sheriff that prior to that, Chris was a deputy sheriff with the VBSO from 2019 to 2022. And last night, Officers Girvin and Reese were riding double in the 4th precinct, assigned to the midnight shift traffic car. About 11:27 p.m. on South Rosemont, they observed a blue Hyundai Sonata with an expired plate. They attempted to stop this vehicle for an expired plate. The vehicle failed to yield. They followed the vehicle to the dead end of Sylvan Court, where it came to a stop. At the dead end of Sylvan Court, both officers approached the vehicle. The driver, the male driver, was immediately argumentative, refused to exit the vehicle at the officer's request. They made numerous requests for him to exit. At some point, he complied with those requests, stepped out of the vehicle. Almost immediately, there was a tussle between the officers and this individual. While that tussle was occurring, this individual pulled a pistol from his pocket and immediately shot both VBPD officers. Those officers fell to the ground. While on the ground, defenseless, he shot them each a second time. Numerous responding officers arrived, tried life-saving measures. EMS arrived, also trying those life-saving measures, and transported our two heroes to local hospitals. And despite valiant efforts by medical personnel, Officer Christopher Reese was pronounced deceased at Centera Princess Anne Hospital just past midnight, where he was surrounded by his family, friends, and fellow officers. Officer Cameron Girvin, pronounced deceased at Virginia Beach General Hospital, approximately 4:30 a.m. this morning, surrounded by immediate family, friends, and his VBPD family. So the numerous responding officers who responded to the initial traffic stop and scene started a grid search looking for the suspect. And in a shed directly behind the apartment complex where the traffic stop occurred, we found an individual suffering from a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Now, ultimately, the determination and cause of death will be up to the medical examiner, but I could say that our preliminary investigation at this point in time, with everything that we know, lends us to believe that this is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At no time did any of our officers fire shots. The suspect, that we're only going to name once, who senselessly murdered our two brave officers, has been identified as John McCoy II. He is a male 42 of the 3700 block of Sylvan Lane, Virginia Beach.
I'm Matt, food scientist and head of R&D
All right,
at Mud.
you stop. Okay, we'll stop share. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm gonna try not to pass judgment on these guys because they got killed. All right. And I don't know the whole story, so I'm not gonna pass judgment on it. But what I can tell you is based on my experience is that what happened is that pulled over a car, dude didn't stop. He was slow to stop, probably slow rolled all the way to a dead end. He's looking for an out. He's already planning what he's trying to do with the gun that he's got on him. Okay. He's already planning it. From an officer standpoint, anytime somebody doesn't stop immediately, I'm thinking, what are they doing? Right. I'm trying to counter what they're planning. They're planning something. They are planning something, and I have to be flanking them mentally. What am I going to do if and when this happens and this happens and this happens? You got to stay ahead of them. You have to stay ahead of them. If you don't, bad things happen. All right. I'm not saying they didn't. I don't know. They stopped. They made contact with him. Didn't do a felony stop, so it wasn't like a pursuit, right? So they didn't do a felony stop. It wasn't a pursuit. They made contact with him at the door. He wouldn't exit the vehicle. They asked him out of the car. He wouldn't get out of the car. Based on case law, you can ask the guy out for any reason whatsoever. Now, if you expand that to a pat down, a detention, stuff like that, then you need more, right? But you are allowed, based on case law, to get anybody out of a car for any reason whatsoever. They did that. He didn't want to get out. Okay, that he is committing resisting law enforcement. Now it's phrased differently in 50 different states, probably phrased 50 different ways. It's resisting. He's under arrest at that point. Now, if they don't want to get out of the car, if he don't want to get out of the car, he's under arrest and he gets hit immediately. He gets hit, he gets sprayed, he gets even a taser, right? Something happens to him physically because he is not following directions. He is now under arrest. Why didn't that happen? That's my question. Why didn't that happen? Why did they give him multiple chances to exit the vehicle before they just dropped the hammer on him physically and said, I'm done with this. I am done with you. You were slow to stop. You're being argumentative. You're under arrest. Now I'm going to fight you. That's how simple this is. And I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, but I've seen it a lot in the last several years that officers, especially newer officers, and these guys were within, 5-6 years on the job. So that's newer, right? That's still newer. That they are afraid to go hands-on. And hands-on, I mean punching people in the face, elbowing in the face, ripping people out of the car, throwing them on the ground violently, being okay using violence at an extreme level within the context of appropriate use of force, appropriate case law, and appropriate morality. I'm not saying just bludgeon someone, but when someone does not get out of a car, when I tell them get out of the car, there is something very physical and very violent that's about to happen to them. That's it. Because of these reasons. When someone doesn't exit a vehicle, when you say, sir, get out of the car, hop out for me. And he says, no. He says, why? He says, what did I do? Those are all flanking maneuvers. They are flanking you mentally. They are planning an attack and they are delaying. They are looking for an out. They are looking for an out from this situation. Either they can talk their way out, they can run away, or they're going to attack you. One of those three things is going to happen. They're going to try to do that. And you need to cut all of those avenues off. Why do I have to get out of the car? You're under arrest. Can't talk your way out of that one anymore. Okay. They try to run, you're in their way. They can't. So now they have an option is to fight. That's it. Right. So you cut off all their three avenues of escape. Now they either have to comply with you or they have to fight you. All right. So you cut off their other flanking maneuvers. You cut those off. So now you can count on a fight or giving up. And usually if they think they can't get away with the fight, they will give up. Because like most scumbags are psychopaths and they are entirely based on self-preservation. So if you look like you're going to kick their ass or kill them, they will stop what they're doing and they'll give up. 9 times out of 10, maybe more, right? Psychopaths will preserve themselves if they think they're going to go to prison for a long ass time, and that's not like that doesn't fit what their need is. Then they'll fight their way out. Okay, but a lot of times they'll just go to jail. They'll go to prison because especially if they think that cop is going to kill them. If they think the cop has the ability to kill them, they won't fight them. I've had that numerous times where I've latched onto people for warrants and they've got a history of running away. So why didn't you run today? And they just look at you and I'm like, you didn't think you'd get away, did you? He was like, nah. And so it tells you right there, right there. So I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on these guys because I haven't seen the body camera footage, but I would really, really like to. But I can tell you, like when someone doesn't exit a vehicle, they are planning a route of escape, and they'll escape you through talking, through running, or through fighting. And then I think that's what happened here. You know, I don't know how these guys fought. I don't know if they were good. I don't know if they were strong. All I know is that they were newer. And they gave them a lot of opportunities to comply. Don't give people that many opportunities. 1, maybe. 2, maybe. Depends on, everything is contextual, right? But by and large, if somebody doesn't want to get out of a car, and I think that there's some sort of threat, something physical and violent is going to happen. That's their decision, and I'm just going to follow through with it because I don't want to get shot. But if you bring the attack to them, then their ambush is negated, or it's very, very much blunted. You have a way higher likelihood of surviving that fight. So be violent and be strong. That's all I got. All right, guys. We'll catch up with you next time.